watching us live streaming around the world. I know we have some people in the former Soviet Union and other places. And I'm sorry the girls from Pussy Riot aren't here. We would like to recognize that person as well. They put them back in prison? Wow. You know, it's really funny. I thought about moving to China in 2006. And I had 2 trips over to China. We were looking in Beijing, and we were thinking about opening up an office there. But then I remembered my frustration with the U.S. government and the California state government. And I realized that I would probably not do very well doing business in China, since I'm a little bit of a rebel. And at least in the United States, when you mess around, you only get a bureaucracy, or maybe the worst thing that happens to you currently if you mess around is you get an extra IRS audit. But I knew I wasn't going to do very well if I tried to open up in China. I was at the United Nations in Beijing at the UN Conference on Women in 1995. And it was really funny because we stayed at a hotel and we wanted to have a reception. So we just told the concierge we needed a reception on Thursday night and we needed to do this and do that. This was on Sunday. And on Monday we checked in. Now, you know, when you deal with hotels, you just tell the hotel what you need and you set it up, right? And then on Monday afternoon we said, what's going on? They go, oh, well, we have to talk to our boss. Well, this went on for 3 days. So on Wednesday morning, I said, I just want you to know we've already invited 150 people. So we don't have a room yet. And if you don't give us a room, we're just going to have our reception in your lobby. So what did happen was we had 200 women. We took over the lobby of the hotel. And the hotel never charged us for this reception. It was really interesting, and I figured out why. Because you see, I, a naive, arrogant American, just took something for granted, which is if you tell the hotel you want something and you want to have a little reception, you just organize it and you pay the bill. No, in China, the right to assemble doesn't exist. So the hotel had to deny that we ever assembled anything in order for them not to get arrested. That was what was really happened. So they allowed us to have our reception, and they just pretended like it never happened so they could have plausible deniability on that. And I came back and I realized I am not going to be a good business person in China, and I was really lucky that nobody grabbed me and threw me in the can because I insisted that I have a reception with all these rabble-rousing women back at the UN Conference on Women. So this is a really special time, and I'm going to introduce Deborah Hutchison again, who you all know very well now. Deborah's the co-founder of the International Women's Festival. She and I and Mary Schnack and others cooked up this idea, and we quickly had it catch on. We went the first year to Sedona, and we did the Women's Festival in Santa Barbara, and then the very next week we went to Sedona. The following year, we went to Ireland, and that was amazing, and Deborah and I were in Ireland together, and since then, Betty Lamar went to Ireland and spoke at the festival, and they've just sort of caught on around the world. The Cayman Islands and Kenya and a couple of other places in Africa have had them, and we hope that other nonprofit organizations and community collaborations will have women's festivals to celebrate International Women's Day or other reasons to celebrate gutsy gals and extraordinary men and women working together in the future. And if Deborah hasn't already talked to you, I'm sure she will. She welcomes other organizations potentially honoring extraordinary women. So I think she'll talk to you about that later. If not, it's on the Gutsy Gals website, and you can find out if you would like to have a Gutsy Gals celebration in your community or your nonprofit organization. Deborah would like to help you with that. So Deborah, I'm going to turn this back over to you, and then we're going to make some announcements, right? I think you and the judges have been hard at work doing evaluations.
So I go on. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. So I'm going to put this mic here, and excuse honorees, excuse my back, but I have to say welcome. Thank you, baby. I have to say thank you. Welcome to the 2014 Santa Barbara International Women's Festival Gutsy Gals Award Celebration. Now, everyone that you see before me, we're honored by someone who nominated them, someone who thought that they were an incredible, inspiring person. And I'm going to take the moment to tell you that some of them are lion-hearted ladies. Some of them are females who ignore setbacks and barriers. Some of them, no, all of them, have had the courage to drive their destinies. And many of them had to embrace imperfection and learn from their mistakes. So what we have today and tonight is the most, oh my God, if I could do this every day, I would do this every day. Because there are so many women that we haven't heard about that are doing so many incredible things, that are so courageous. And if one of these women tonight inspires you to do one thing that you thought maybe you couldn't do, if you'll take the journey, because none of these women got to where they are without a struggle, and then a stick-to-itness, and then they got it done. But they're not stopping. So they're going to do it all over again, I'm sure. They're going to keep reinventing. But I'm not going to stand here and talk to you, because I have asked each one of them, as I announce their names, they are all honorees tonight. And as I announce their names, I'm asking if they'd like to say a few words, if they'd like to tell you. I will give you in one line who they are. I need 1 hour on each woman. So in order to just move forward, I'm going to ask them to say whatever they want. I'm already going to tell you who they are, but I want them to say whatever they want. And you know what? You're in for the most pleasurable ride. So if you'll hang tight with me, let's get to the ladies, please. We're going to start with the international awards, and we have two honorees, and as you know, Pussy Riot can't make it. They're in jail. They're fighting their fight, but they were nominated. We want to respect and say good luck, and we'll send you your nomination. The next lady that we have is Raja Jean, who has Raja's Ray of Hope project. This is so dear to her heart that I'm going to let her speak to you for a few minutes and just tell you about Raja's, where are you, baby? There she is. Raja's Ray of Hope project.
Thank you so much for having me here. Luckily, I'm not in jail. The possibilities are great sometimes when I face the obstacles of really running a school. But luckily, I'm here and I'm free and I can speak my mind, and I've been doing this for a long, long time. I built a school in 7 villages that never had a girls' school. They don't even think of having their daughters walk out on the little paths and going to school. So I created this phenomena for them to really work with me. In first place, they really didn't want to, and I had great obstacles. The day I wanted to meet an engineer, I had a little piece of land in this village. The people were coming to me, men, not looking at me, but head down, and would say, "Sister, go and sit and have a cup of tea with my wife." And in my house, actually, not wife. and we will take care of it. And the land that I had was really full of like garbage, because there was a school in 1920 built by a king for boys, and it was up to 6th grade, but it was destroyed. So this land was, I'm standing there, and once, twice, 3 times they tell me, and I said, brother, I'm going to stand here till the last day that school is built, and you can't make me go to your home and have a cup of tea. I said, you go and have a cup of tea with your wife, which you don't want to mention her name. And so about 3-4 hours they gave in, and the engineer shows up, and they're standing next to me. And to make it really short, that they stood by me and we built a school, but in hope of that it will be, I'll fail, and it will be a boys' school. They will change it into a boys' school. They really, to the last day, they wanted me to change my mind, and I didn't. So the school is now 7 years old. We have over 450 girls. We have kindergarten, grade to 11. And we teach them English and computer 1 hour a day. That I have taken permission, because in schools they start from 7th grade English. But I teach the kindergarten to 12th grade. A little girl who's 4 years old, she's in kindergarten, and I don't think so she understands the meaning of it. Somebody asked her, I said, why are you learning English? And she said, because it's international language. I don't think so she got it, but somebody had taught her, her teacher. So she could say that. Eventually she'll understand that she's here and others are here, because English is international language, and that's something that you can really go forward. Another little girl, they asked, what do you want to be? And she said, engineer. And the woman asked, what engineer? What do you mean? She said, just wait till I grow up, become engineer, then I'll come back and I'll tell you what engineering is. So these are the things that really keeps me going. You tell me when I have to stop. Sure. And so these are the things that keeps me going, although we have, a lot of threats, not on my school, but for the girls. They throw acid on their face, they poison their water, they poison the classroom, and kids come and they really fall like flies, because these are poison in the classroom. So I want to make sure that these things don't happen to these girls. And that's why I live there 11 months, and I come twice a year to do fundraising for the school, to keep it going. And I hope that that school will last forever, whether I'm there or not. Thank you.
So, somebody asked me about my snail pin, because how do you follow up after that? Well, I think I can follow up with my snail pin story. I wear a snail pin because snails just barely creep along. And that's what happens in some of these major projects. But what you're doing is so fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. And because we have 2 award winners, because we have 2 nominees from International, we thought we'd just go ahead and do the honor of giving the award to our international winner. Now, let me just tell you very quickly that there were a number of judges. They were independent judges, all different ages, sizes, ethnic, and every one of you is such a winner. How could anybody decide? Because there are no winners. We're all honorees, but we could only really put 2014 to a couple of names. So I invited this independent panel. They got together, and the first vote, there was no winner. They just voted for every lady. I mean, it just did. I go, okay, well, that's not going to work. So they went back, and they had a couple more votes, and they came up with who we're going to honor today. But as we honor those people, please keep in mind that every one of these ladies is being honored because they've done incredible things. So let's just give them all a big hand first. All right. I said it. I said I was going to come with an envelope, like the Oscars, that hasn't been opened, and I'm going to give the honor of opening it to Miss 2000, what? 2, 3, 4, when do we start? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Patty D. Dominic, our leader for the 2014 and 7 before that International Women's Festivals.
So to reinforce what Deborah said, we are announcing the International Award honoree, and there will be 2 additional winners announced. So this is the envelope of the International Award nominee. A gutsy gal having a great deal of courage or nerve, robust, vigorous, or earthy. Gutsy gal, lion-hearted lady. Congratulations, Razia John.
You are on the rise. You are going. We'll just get a couple pictures.
Really quick.
Really quick here. Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I made it small.
Thank you,
enough for
Razia.
to take it home.
Okay, so just ask them to 2 minutes
Yeah,
or
okay.
less.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay. All right. So now we go to the nominees that represent the United States. They're living here, or they are living in our community, or they're living somewhere here in the United States, and the things that they are doing. We ask that you just take a couple of minutes to say whatever you want. You can thank the person who honored you, who nominated you. You can tell us what you're doing. You can, because I'm going to read a little quick bit about you, okay? And then that's it. All right, here we go. Christina Aguirre Kolb. I don't believe she's here, but I will tell you that we're recognizing her for her advocacy for special needs children as a gutsy gal. Janet Alt. Janet, you're up, girlfriend. Janet Alt is being recognized for overcoming drastic health issues and finding new ways to help others. Now, let me just say that Janet's sister nominated her. Do you want to tell her, or do you want me to tell her? Janet's sister nominated Janet after telling us that she almost died 3 times.
She was advised to pull the plug 3 times in January 2006. Thank you, Chris, for not doing it.
Stand up, Chris.
And my other great supporter, another very gutsy woman. Man, do I have a family. My sister Karen, that came out to help. And then, as you heard earlier, I mean, who did I work with for what, 15, 20 years? Talk about role model, mentor, women's issues champion. Patty, thank you very much.
Thank you. There you go.
Tell them what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, you may tell them. You
Okay.
tell them right now. Yeah, but don't trip. Don't trip. I got my back to you. guys.
My doctors told me that I was not allowed to go back to work after I was released from the hospital. That was tough for me, but when I finally learned my name again and how to read and feed myself, I got bored and said I'd like to do something. Christine and I went down to the library and I saw this poster, Free Someone, Teach an Adult How to Read. Long time ago, I had been a teacher, not English, but a teacher, love language. Interviewed on the phone for 2 hours, another hour in person, took training, and since 2009, I have been doing adult literacy tutoring with some wonderful, wonderful students. An organization that stuck beside me the whole time that I didn't know who I was, Purdue University. I'm on the Dean's Advisory Council for their College of Education. And I proposed to the council that the council sponsor a scholarship, a full scholarship for a student. Told them the benefits to the university, the dean, the college, to the council, and to the students. We have on full scholarship 2 students, and we're going to have a 3rd one come this fall. So that's what I'm
Janet
working
Alt. Woo! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. You'll take a sit there. Thank you. This award is presented to Kim Castle in recognition of overcoming childhood challenges and to become a positive role model for women. May I introduce you to Kim Castle. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. You know, when I got Rise, when I found out that I was nominated for this, I went, what? I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't accomplished my contribution to humanity. But we forget that we are all courageous in every moment that we have on the planet, and that we impact everybody all the time. And so I take this as a recognition of the impact that we all have. I want to thank Patty for inviting me back to share this, to be with you amazing women and the special men that support us. I want to thank the special man that supports me, Vito Montone. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you. So on Kim's note, I just have to tell you that we gave Kathy Ireland an award a couple years ago. And as I'm standing there, Patty's on one side, I'm on the other, I'm reading some stuff, and she's going, I'm not a gutsy gal. I'm not a gutsy gal. I mean, I don't, really? She's a gutsy gal. Now she knows she's a gutsy gal. So we sometimes do that to ourselves, and even the best of the best. Okay, we now, everybody's so interesting. I'd like to present this award and honor Lee Langley. And here's what she's being recognized for having the vision at age 23. Read that again. She had a vision at 23 years of age to co-found a school for delinquent boys. She co-founded it with her husband, who 12 years later died. She continued on with the school and then was invited by her daughter to help in her daughter's business. I'd like to introduce you to Lee Langley. Did you want to say anything? Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. You know, I had often heard the saying, what doesn't break you makes you stronger. And I found out the truth of that statement. My husband died, and I was 36, he was 38. I was a traditional housewife of that age where you stayed home and took care of your children and supported your husband and his work. But when he died of cancer, and I was 36, he was 38, I had no choice, because when you're a social worker, we had our home furnished, our car, our food, and so we had no savings, and so I had no choice but to take over his job. And I was so not fit for running a school for delinquent boys. It was I grew very fast. But it turned out great. did an unbelievably great job for what I thought I could do. And I still have boys from my school that find me on Facebook and either stop by or write to me. I had one call me from Afghanistan. He was in service. Called me on Mother's Day because he didn't have a mother, so they get one free call. And that was a big thrill for me, a big payback. So, and I think the second gutsy thing I did was my daughter Diana decided she wanted to go to California, and she started her own business, and she needed help because she couldn't really afford to hire anybody, and she wanted her mother to come out, give up a great job, all her friends, all her life, and come and live with her and start a business that would probably go down the tubes if it were like most businesses, majority of young women starting it. But somehow I just felt I had to do it, and it was the best decision I ever made. I came out, we lived in her house, we worked together, just the two of us, and we developed a product and a business that grew and grew and grew until now we can live in Montecito and enjoy a wonderful life. I'm at Maravilla, and it was such a big payoff, but mostly it was fun just to develop it and do it with my daughter. Her other sister came out, and we had a family business. It was just a fantastic experience, and I'm very grateful to her and to all that she contributed to my life, too.
Thank you, Lee. Let's get you back. Yep. Okay. All right. This is also good. So, Barbara Liss. Barbara Liss is being honored in recognition of pioneering the paralegal, and she did tell me that paralegal doesn't mean two legals. It means one person. But she is very much behind the paralegal advocacy and advocacy for the elderly. Please, Barbara Liss. Oh, she's not here.
Yay, Barbara!
Oh, Barbara. Yay, Barbara. Okay. Here we go. Okay, we've got Fee. Felicia Johnson. She is here with her family and came in from Atlanta, Georgia, I believe. She actually got some of her friends and family and Facebook people that love her to help pitch in so that she could come here to this award. And so we thank you for coming. But she's really being recognized for overcoming childhood abuse and psychological adversity to become an inspirational role model. Please, let's say hello to Felicia. Fee.
Hi.
And you can tell me about your book.
Okay. Thank you for nominating me. I didn't even know really that I was nominated by so many people that had told me. And I was really shocked, actually. But it kind of all makes sense now when I think about it, because when you go through a lot, you don't really think about it like, oh, I've been through so much in my life. No, you just get through it. When you live through it, you just keep moving. And that's called gaining wisdom. And I learned at a very young age what survival means and what it is. I did overcome child abuse, and now I dedicate my life to helping troubled children. I'm a youth mentor and a child advocate, and I wrote a book. It's called Her, and it was actually based off of my life and a friend of mine who, she and I had went through similar situation when we were children. We had actually met while we were both in mental health treatment, getting treated for our depression and the child abuse that we both suffered. Well, this young lady, her name was Holly, and she actually ended up taking her own life when we were both 15 years old. And that impacted me because it opened my eyes at the age of 15 that I can't use, child abuse and depression as an excuse not to go on living, not to do something. And since then, I've always wanted to just do something. So writing's always been sort of a way of dealing with whatever I went through. I wrote my first novel when I was 6 years old, believe it or not, just expressing how I felt, whatever, I felt inside. And so Her is a book that's loosely based on my life and Holly's life. And it's a fictional book. It's about borderline personality disorder, depression, and survival, basically. I'm studying right now, trying to earn my PhD in clinical psychology so that I can take helping children further and spreading awareness about mental health, because there is a stigma that we need to get rid of it. Mental health exists, mental disorders and psychological disorders exist, and we should not ignore it. We should pay attention, especially to the people that we love, listen to them. Never tell somebody with a mental health disorder to get over it. Never tell somebody with depression, snap out of it, feel better, because trust me, if we could, we would. We want to. So the best thing you can do is give them a hug and say, I'm here for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Fee. Wow. Powerful. The next award we're presenting is to Linda Newland, and she's got a very interesting story herself. She's recognized today for enthusiastically helping people move forward towards their dreams. Let's hear from Linda Newland.
So first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to my dear friend Annie, who nominated me for this award. And like so many others on this stage, when I got the information, and it just happened to be one of those days in my life where I kept beating myself up for I'm not doing enough in my life. And when I saw the word gutsy and they asked me to write up some other things about my life, I started writing down all the gutsy things I've done in my life. And I realized as I was writing down, it was the greatest gift I ever gave myself. And it's one of the things I wrote about in my own journey of learning what loving yourself really means and overcoming the hardships and things that we have in our life. And I ended up a few years ago, while I was doing a coaching program, that my heart wanted to start songwriting. And I resisted and said, I can't write a song, I don't have time. And I found myself resisting something. And when I finally stopped resisting, I wrote a song in 10 minutes. And the song title was the beginning of my next career, which was Love Yourself. And I thought, sounds good, don't know anything about it. And in that journey of writing that song, it turned into an album, and then it turned into a one-woman stage show in which I give the profits to the local CALM here in Santa Barbara, which is child abuse, mediation, listening, helping families recover from all forms of abuse. And what I discovered in my own journey is that there are so many ways we abuse ourselves, and one of them, the worst crime we have, is that we don't follow our dreams, and we don't truly own our gifts, and we don't express them in the world. And we let all the hardships that happen to us just shut us down and keep us small, instead of saying, maybe I'm going through this for a reason. And one of the things I learned in my life is that if I am gutsy enough and courageous enough to take the pain and the suffering that I've been through and find the nugget in it and work to heal myself, then I can truly be an inspiration to other people. And my greatest thing I love to share with people that I've had to remind myself every day is I am much bigger than anything that has ever happened to me. And there are no more excuses, no more lies. I need to live my life to the fullest. And I'm so proud and honored to be on a stage with women who've done so many amazing things. Thank you for the honor of just being named Gutsy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, I always take so much away from all of this. Our next honoree tonight is Twinkle Marie Manning. We're recognizing Twinkle. We love that, Twinkle. We're recognizing Twinkle because she brings a message of hope and positivity to all who have sustained loss. So I'm going to give a moment to let Twinkle tell you a little bit about herself and the courage that she's had to come from. Thank you, Twinkle.
So, in lieu of crying on the stage and telling you about all the loss, I'll just say that a lot of people I love have died, and each death and each transition in my life has brought a new opportunity along with it. 4 years ago, I moved to Boston and created a company called TV for Your Soul because it was really important to me to create positive media, television, publications, get messages out there to help heal what's going on in the world. And so it was a dream of mine, and all of a sudden I had 40 people with me co-creating amazing television programs. One of those programs that took on a life beyond what I could have imagined is Empowering Women. Empowering Women started as a small television show in Boston, and it's grown into a movement all on its own. We have television shows at local levels emerging across the United States, and this week we launched our website where women all over the globe can contribute content and share what they're doing, the lessons they're learning, and the messages that they have to share with the world. And we like men too. Men are on our site, we interview men, and we welcome their contribution to healing the planet and to enhancing women's empowerment. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. Marie. Thank you, thank you, Marie. Thank you, thank you. Very nice. So, Fee had a whole bunch of people that wrote in because they were inspired by her. But the next lady that I'm going to announce had a whole bunch of people write in because they were inspired by her. And that lady that we give the honor to is Sonia Marsh, because Sonia has her own Gutsy story, but she allows women to tell stories and create books about Gutsy women. Please welcome and honor Sonia Marsh.
I hope this is the right level. Can you hear me? There, okay. First of all, thank you, Patty, and thank you so much, Deborah, for allowing me to be on this stage. And I want to thank all the nominees because I think we're all a big team, and I am very proud to be here with everyone. So, in 2004, I uprooted my 3 teens to live in a hut in Belize. We moved from Orange County to Belize. Why? Because I lived in Africa when I was a child. I've lived in Europe. I've lived in many different countries. And I wanted to take my kids away from the affluent society that we live in and for them to see how other people live in other countries. I think it is so important. We were going to spend, my husband, I am married, he came, of course. We wanted to spend the rest of our lives living in Belize. Well, I wrote a journal when I was there because I had a lot of free time, and I turned it into a book. We came back after 1 year, and there were various reasons. Basically, we couldn't get a business going. But that 1 year in Belize totally transformed my family. My children saw kids playing outside, kicking a coconut for 3 or 4 hours with no internet, nothing, and they were happy. And they learned an important lesson that school is a privilege, not a right. Something I could never have taught them staying in Orange County. So when I came back from Belize, everybody called me Gutsy. And that's what led to me starting a blog that was called Gutsy Writer. And after a couple of years, I thought, you know what? There are so many people out there who've done gutsy things in their life. I'm not the only one. And there are 2 types of gutsy, the internal gutsy and the external gutsy. Internal is when you overcome challenges in your life, like cancer survivors or a death in your family or something, and you have to overcome that. The external gutsy are the people who, for example, get out of their job, their corporate job that they can't stand, and sail around the world for 4 or 5 years. So I've been collecting Gutsy stories, and the first one I got was in October 2011. It was such an inspirational story, and I had no idea that I was allowing people to open themselves up to sharing their stories. They started thanking me. This is the first time I've been able to say what I really wanted to say. And I want to say something else. Fee Johnson submitted her My Gutsy story as well. So I met Fee online. Anyway, I'm not going to take up much more time, but I just want to say that I absolutely am passionate about sharing people's stories from around the world. And it makes me happy that I can help other people through those inspirational stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you can imagine what the judges, how they looked at me when I said Sonia Marsh and I said Gutsy in the title. I didn't have any idea. Anyway, thank you very much for sharing that. And now we have, and we're presenting it to, because I like some, this is kind of cool too, having worked my way through some of those fields. So Dana Ochoa is here, and she is in a recognition of succeeding in male-dominated fields. Now, again, I think it was just said that we love males. I've been married to my husband for 30 years. I love males. I mean, but we have had some hard times breaking some of these barriers, which is why I always say if you want to break a barrier, just own your own business and then you can break your own ceiling. But we have to work, and we want to work along next to men and everybody together. So I would love to hear how you did it. Thank you. Dana Ochoa.
Hi, thanks everyone. I really, so often in life you come across something and you think it's not right, and I was raised by a mom who said, you just say your mind. And it's gotten me into a lot of trouble. But the difference between me and my boss, Sally Smead over here, is I say my mind and I annoy everyone, and then I have to fight through. And my boss and mentor, Sally, somehow manages to always rise, crash through the glass ceiling, and just become the amazing person I nominated. Sorry. But, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. You know what? This is real. It's okay.
I can't even, sorry. Okay. I can't even begin to tell you what a wonderful boss she is to work for, and how I shouldn't even be standing here, because every time I crash through that ceiling and I end up, instead of becoming a manager, a sales manager at a car dealership, opening my own brokerage, because if you can't join them, beat them. So instead, I ended up being a broker and left the business, and I wouldn't be back in if it weren't for this lovely lady who you'll be talking to shortly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so it was very interesting because I want to introduce Sally Smead. She's in recognition of succeeding in a male-dominated industry. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the industry is, and it's pretty male-dominated, and it's the automobile industry. Sally is, if I understand, for Lexus and for all of Santa Barbara, the first female general manager. Please welcome Sally Smead. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, you don't get anywhere in business unless you have really great people who work for you. So I just want to say that Dana has always been her best, always done her best, and that's why she is a truly gutsy gal as well. You know, when I was thinking about this award yesterday, and I was watching all these amazing and truly amazing women and listening to their stories, you know, someone who started a school for girls in an area where girls don't have schools, and someone else who started a school for at-risk youth. And I thought about this, and I thought, well, geez, all I ever did was show up for work every day. And regardless of whether it was in a male-dominated field or one that women historically or stereotypically, depending on how you want to look at it, have usually had a place in, That's what women do every day. And every day that a woman gets up and goes out into the marketplace or goes out into the business world and does her best and succeeds and advances and thinks well of herself and never sees the boundaries that are out there, those are all gutsy women. These really are gutsy women, but I can't thank you enough. And the thing that means the most to me about this award is that Dana and Tina and Abby, who are three women who also have overcome a lot of barriers and work in a male-dominated field and excel in a male-dominated field, were the ones who nominated me, and I have to thank them with all my heart. It means so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And this is our last one for today. And when we're finished, we will. I'll ask Patty to come back up on the stage, and I'm going to ask her to open the envelope. And here we go. So the next honoree is Deepa Willingham, and we're honoring her in a recognition of waging war against poverty and sex trade. Please meet Deepa Willingham.
First of all, thank you, Lisa, for nominating me. This is a wonderful honor, and thank you to be around all the wonderful honorees here. Namaste to all of you. Namaste means the spirit in me salutes the spirit in you. You all have wonderful spirit. All of you in the Western world grew up with your mother telling you probably that finish the food on your plate because there are starving children in Africa. I grew up in Calcutta, where my mother telling me, finish the food on your plate because there are starving children outside the window. And as each day I left my parents' home to go to Calcutta to attend the school, a fancy school, I saw many girls, particularly girls and boys, playing in the dirt and not having the advantages that I had. And that had a tremendous impact on me as I was growing up. And I decided when I could, I would try to do something to change that. So in 2003, I decided, what am I waiting for? I should begin. And so I formed an organization called PACE Universal, which stands for Promise of Assurance to Children Everywhere, with the idea that I would give the gift of education, particularly to girls. And in the 10 years' time, it has become a phenomenon that in my wildest dream, I never thought it would be. On August 31st, 2011, the world reached the population of 7 billion. Of that, almost half the human population are currently living on less than $2 a day. 1/6 the human population are illiterate. 2/3 of that number are women. Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of independent India, said, you can tell the condition of a nation by looking at the status of its women. I would like to change that and say, you can look at the condition of the planet by looking at the status of its women. Planet is not in good shape. We are currently trafficking close to 1 million girls, mostly under the age of 18, primarily for sex trade. It is the third fastest growing business among global organized crime. So when I wanted to do the school, I found a site where least number of girls were going to school. And they were taking these girls at the age of 5 and 6 and making them into prostitutes. And talk about guts, I said, we got to stop that. People said, aren't you afraid that they will come after you? I said, bring them on. So today, I will like to ask all of you, let us develop a collective guts to say enough. We should not be taking 3- and 4-year-old girls and making them into prostitutes. Enough. We should not be taking women and doing female genital mutilation. Enough. We should not be allowing anywhere in the planet wives being gang raped. Enough. We should not be allowing any human being, regardless of which part of the planet it is, to have to live in less than $1 a day. That's not human subsistence. And we are not going to create a safe planet doing this. So those of you who know me, my friend Betty, Lisa, and my daughter, I don't dream small. I'm hoping that what I set up as a model outside of Calcutta will be duplicated all over the world. And let's make Santa Barbara the hub of showing how to change the planet, one girl, one community, one village at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepa. Thank you. You know, in the movies, they always go to the end and then they go, oh, but there's one more. And talk about a lion-hearted lady. I want to introduce you to Jennifer Conrad. Because if there's anyone who knows about big cats and little cats and who's an advocate for something that's going on, let me introduce you, please, to Dr. Jennifer Conrad.
First of all, I want to thank you, Patty and Deborah, for inviting me. I have a little different story. I work for the animals, but they are oppressed too. And I am a veterinarian, and when I first found out about declawing cats, I thought this was horrendous, and I couldn't believe that anyone did it. And I soon found out that it was standard practice, and it was status quo in my profession. And it's so wrong. I thought, well, we have to make this illegal. And when I went to the steps to make it illegal, I was completely ostracized by the veterinary profession. I lost 90% of my business. But I knew that as much as I was making veterinarians mad, I was making cats happy. And that was my job. So I run a nonprofit called the Paw Project. It's pawproject.org if you want to see it. And all I ask is that you join me. All these courageous women are doing things for women. Help me with the animals. I'm not asking for any money or anything like that. I'm asking join us, because I would love, more than anything, to put myself out of business, and I require you guys to help me. So thank you again for the opportunity to speak, and thank you for caring so much about all the creatures on the planet.
Okay, Patty. Let's go back. Let's go back to those judges. I got 2 cards. What could I say? What could I say? Which one? Pick it, because this is, you pick whichever one you want first.
Can I only pick one?
One, only one.
What are you going to do with the other one?
I'm going to hold it, and then you're going to pick this one, and you're going to open that one.
Oh, okay. So we are going to announce 2 additional winners besides Rajya John.
Rajya's for international.
Okay.
These ladies have been chosen for the United States and around the area.
And I want to say, before I announce this winner, I want to say a special thanks to Tracy Beard and Janice Johnson and Alicia Cook and
Grace.
Jean Sincer and the other folks in this room and throughout the community who are here and who have also supported the Women's Festival. It means a lot to me.
You did it again, baby. You did it again. All right, you picked that one. Okay.
You know, if you were an empowerment junkie like I am, you know, I'm not going to make you sit here for another 6 hours. I could. And I could spend the rest of my life honoring people like this because they do what they care about. They risk their life in some cases. they spend their last dime, and they make a difference for other people. But they also serve as a role model and an inspiration. So every single one of you are amazing. And I'm sorry that I'm not a billionaire. If I was a billionaire, I would be presenting each of you with a check for $1 million, because you're all worth it. You're all worth it. So the next grand honoree among many grand honorees, please Gutsy woman, Deepa Willingham.
There you go. There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm crying. I can't smile. Thank you.
Up, I think. Yeah. What? Patty. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I was fortunate enough to get an award in 1988 by the National Association of Women Business Owners. And one of the women who mentored me when I went to pick up something, I think she did a press release for me, and I went to pick up the press release, and she said, "What are you going to say when you get the award?" I said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "I'm going to say thank you." She says, "You dummy. This is a platform for you. You get an award, you are an inspiration, you are a role model." And so I forgot, I didn't realize at the time in the 80s about how important it is to recognize extraordinary people for the work they do. The other thing I didn't realize is, but those of you who already receive a lot of awards, you know that it's usually also like the addict's enabler. So you get an award now and you thought you were done, right? Obviously, you have to keep on doing this for another 30, 40, 50 years. So that's it. These awards things are really quite dangerous. So this is going back to Deepa.
And the envelope.
All right. Okay. Again, to only give this final award to 3 women today is really tough. Deborah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to make these announcements. For meritorious service lasting a lifetime, and we hope many more lifetimes, for touching the lives of thousands of people and inspiring others, Lee Langley.
Okay.
So Lee, you got to do this more.
Just turn this around.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll help you. Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm not in the picture.
So I'm in the picture. Okay. Thank you, Sonia.
Okay.
Congratulations. So extend just.
Okay.
See, are you okay?
You hold me up, I'm okay.
You okay?
Yeah, Kelly, you got to take over. Yeah. Thank you.
No? No.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to wrap it up there.
All right, thank
And there you go. I want to say again, I want to say special thanks to Deborah Hutchison for her vision, for making the movie Berta Benz, and for all the judges who had that really tough job. And I also want to say Thank you, to each of you nominees. Thank you to the honorees. It's all your fault I'm crying, Dana. You made me cry. Thank you for allowing us to honor you. We know that a lot of people want your time, and we appreciate that you allowed us to honor you. You honor us. Thank you.
So, on behalf of Gutsy Gals Inspire Me, I thank each and every one of you. I hope you will continue to be ambassadors. I hope that you stay in touch. We'll do much more with you this year. And thank you for coming. And thank you for nominating and being here for the Gutsy Gal Inspire Me 2014 International Women's Festival. We'd like a picture with everybody. A picture with everybody.
Lido?
Nice, you got the slow somewhere at night. I'm debating on top of that song. I'm not going to be able to wash my face with it.